Show starts now.
All right, that is Island View Park.
Look at that. Even when it's gray outside,
Right?
it still looks nice
pretty.
there.
It's still pretty, yeah. A little sun coming up out there. The sun will officially be up in just a couple of minutes. It'd be nice to see some sunshine after the gloomy one we had yesterday. But, you know, beware, this time of year, the sun comes up, it gets hot in a hurry.
Yeah.
And we have this kind of humidity and you add the heat to it,
Then
it'll
it's
take you there.
almost unbearable.
Yeah.
But okay, so we'll take this for now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think I'll find some showers for us in the forecast. Got lots to talk about, as a matter of fact. I do like the way things should play out by the end of the week. Got to get to the end of the week first. I see some showers from near parts of Louisiana up through parts of Mississippi. A lot of that's going to stay way off to the west. They had a bunch of rain over there yesterday, and because of that, well, I think they're going to find some flooding concerns out to our west today. I still think we can find some showers around here this afternoon, but one of the things we're going to be waiting for is something to shake the showers out of the clouds. I do not expect everybody to get wet, but the areas that do could also see some stronger wind gusts and maybe even some hail and some heavy downpours in those isolated spots that are lucky enough to get some rain. So we'll have our eyes on a bunch of things today. Most of our temperatures this morning near 70 degrees, a little warmer Apalachicola where it's 77 degrees, but a lot of us are within a degree or two of 70. I think the daytime high today has got a pretty good shot to get near 90. Of course, the showers can help us out with that. I'll talk more rain chances, more humidity, and maybe a slightly drier day on tap for tomorrow in just a couple of minutes.
Well, another busy day of testimony in the retrial of Catherine McBanowa, the accused go-between in the murder-for-hire death of FSU law professor Dan Markell. McBanowa's retrial now in its second week. Yesterday's testimony focused on following the money in this plot. Our Jacob Murphy reports.
The money in this case is a big part of the prosecutor's theory. They say her bank accounts blossomed in the days and weeks after the murder of Dan Markell. And on Monday, they turned to two women close to the key players here to try to prove their point. First up was Yindra Mascara, a childhood friend of Catherine McBanowa's. They had drifted apart but reconnected as young adults. She was good friends with McBanowa during the key dates in this case. She talked with prosecutors about the kinds of jobs McBanowa would have, often only holding those jobs for a couple months at a time. At one point, they both worked at the same club in South Florida, working bottle service, describing how much money they could get on a night. It averaged $100 to $200. Sometimes a good night might be $400 or $500. The state trying to get these pieces of information to the jury so then they can go and show the bank records of McBanowa and see thousands of dollars in influx of that size into her account, which would then paint a potentially suspicious picture. This defense trying to ask Mascara more about who McBanowa is as a person. Mascara describing her as a great mother. Her kids are her world. They also asked if McBanowa ever told her anything about a homicide while they were close friends during the period of the murder, and she said no, McBanowa had not. Next up was June Yinchenda, ex-girlfriend of Charlie Adelson, the former ex-brother-in-law of Dan Markell. Both sides contend was the mastermind behind this murder-for-hire plot. June asked similar questions to her testimony in 2019, but it came across very different when asked about how the money was packaged when she saw his safe while they were dating. In 2019, she said they were stapled. This time, she said she thought they might be stapled, but didn't quite know. She didn't have a great memory. The rest of the afternoon featured two employees at the Adelson Institute telling prosecutors they never knew McBanowa to work there, even though prosecution will show that she was receiving paychecks. She was on the payroll there. Looking ahead to Tuesday, we could see more on the wiretaps and finally listen to some of those wiretaps. The state thinks they could rest their case either late Tuesday or more likely Wednesday. Reporting outside the courthouse, Jacob Murphy, WCTV Eyewitness News.
And our Julia Mellum sat down with WCTV's trial analyst Joe Bodiford for a more in-depth look at his thoughts so far on the McBanowa retrial.
It's turning out to be a very interesting trial with a lot of twists and turns, that's for sure. And the Dolce Vita video, are we going to be seeing that? When are we expecting to see that show up in court?
They may end with that. You know, you want to end strong, you want to start strong, end strong, and you know, the stuff that has to be done, just put it kind of in the middle. I would think that they would end with that because it is truly one of the most poignant things that they have. What's interesting to me is why didn't they use it at the first trial? And I think the answer to that is because they didn't have it cleaned up enough that it could be understood, and it, you know, they had to wash it and filter it. And that's going to be part of what the defense is going to use to defend this video, is to say it's been washed, it's been, the levels have been up and down, it's been manipulated so much that we can't even tell what Katie is saying. So, but it's going to be an interesting point.
Do you think this is a key piece of evidence in the trial? Do you think that's going to change something from the first trial? Showing this piece of evidence, is this can be a game changer?
It could move the needle. Yeah, it definitely could. Now, the other thing you got there, because there's so many moving parts and so many different dynamics. In the first trial, you had Sigfredo sitting over there, who was the guy that shot and killed Professor Markel. Sigfredo was at a particular place, but they can put to say, well, this area is broader, but oh my Lord, everybody knows this day and age what technology is available.
Gavel to gavel on our website and our Facebook page. You can catch up on all the developments, and we've actually created a special page on WCTV.tv to look back at the coverage of this case spanning nearly 8 years.
Well, covering South Georgia, yesterday, Ryan Duke sentenced to 10 years in prison for concealing the death of Tara Grinstead. She's an Irwin County teacher and former beauty queen who vanished in 2005. Duke was found not guilty on 5 of 6 charges, including murder. Moments before yesterday's sentencing, Grinstead's stepmother confronted him for the first time since Friday's verdict.
There are words that are seared in our memories forever. Missing, disappeared, vanished, and murdered. For over 11 years, we went to bed every night wondering where Tara was, and we woke up every morning with the same question: where is she?
Grinstead, who taught at Irwin County High School, vanished in October 2005. In 2019, another man, Bo Dukes, was charged in her death and is currently spending 25 years in prison.
In Florida, jury selection continues in Broward County for the sentencing of trial of Parkland shooter Nicholas Cruz. The jury selection process began last month, the court screening more than 1,500 people, and so far only 20% are qualified. The judge is aiming to have 12 jurors in the box and 8 alternate jurors ready to take place if something goes wrong. Now, once selected, jurors will decide whether or not to recommend the death penalty for Cruz. And a Florida law intended to punish social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter for allegedly discriminating against conservative thought is ruled unconstitutional, or an unconstitutional violation of the First Amendment. A 3-judge panel of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously concluding it's an overreach for Governor DeSantis and the Florida legislator to tell the social media companies how to conduct their work. The ruling upholds a similar decision by a Florida federal judge on the 2021 law.
The U.S. has its first confirmed case of monkeypox and at least half a dozen presumptive ones. Health experts say you don't need to panic, but you should be aware of what's happening. Amy Kiley reports on what they'd like you to know.
Surveillance expands, we expect that more cases will be seen.
Monkeypox is showing up in the U.S. and other countries. It causes lesions like these, rashes, swollen lymph nodes, and fevers. Experts say doctors need to know if a patient has those symptoms, but here's the good news.
We have already worked to procure the fruits of science, if I may, the vaccines that are effective against this virus. We have sufficient amounts of them.
The U.S. is releasing monkeypox vaccine from its stockpile and getting it to people at high risk of infection. The WHO says smallpox vaccination also helps protect against it.
Most people who are infected with monkeypox recover within 2 to 4 weeks without specific treatment.
Health officials say don't worry about this becoming the next pandemic. Monkeypox spreads through very close contact, not through the air.
Anyone who has direct contact with the skin lesions and anyone who has had direct contact through sex with the skin lesions, again, someone who's been infected, is at risk.
Health officials say contact tracing and surveillance should help contain the disease.
I think we'll have this under control in the next week or so.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Now, Pfizer says 3 child-side doses of its COVID vaccine showed a strong immune response in kids aged 6 months to 5 years. The trial included nearly 1,700 kids who got the 3rd dose during the Omicron variant surge. Pfizer says antibody levels tested a month after the 3rd dose, showing the vaccine produced a similar immune response as 2 full doses in 16 to 25-year-olds. An FDA committee has a tentative meetings set for June to discuss emergency use authorizations updates that could make young kids eligible for Pfizer and Moderna vaccines.
6:39 now. 2 weeks after a fire devastated the Jewish community in Tallahassee, there is a sense of hope. Yesterday, a new Torah arrived, and the rabbi got some calming news about what started the fire. As Stacey Inez reports, the fire marshal says it was likely the result of a kitchen fire, but the investigation is still ongoing.
You're looking to build bigger, better, and nicer. It's all about the community, serving the community.
Rabbi Schneur Oreichman says he is thankful to know the fire that damaged 2 sacred Torah scrolls at the Chabad house was accidental. He got back this morning from Miami, where he was loaned a Torah until a new one can be produced.
This is important for the state of Florida, for the state of Israel.
This is what it looked like when the synagogue went up in flames in the early morning hours 2 weeks ago. Now, just rubble is left, as seen in this drone footage from the Florida Fire Marshal Jimmy Petronis. Visiting the site today, Petronis said preliminary investigation shows the fire was accidental, and it appears it started in the kitchen.
As we will find other ways in the state to donate, to complement the insurance proceeds, to ensure that what was lost here is not forgotten, and in order to make a greater impact to every student.
Rabbi Oreichman says despite not knowing exactly what caused the fire, he's keeping a positive outlook.
God is involved in every aspect of our lives, even things that are devastating like this. God is involved, and there's something good, just a hidden good, and you have to look and search deep and find the good and focus on the good.
That was Stacey Inez reporting. The rabbi tells us it will take at least a year for the Torah that was damaged to be replaced. They are also looking to get trailers on the property within the next month so they can return to holding services on site before the fall semester.
Time now for First Alert Weather with meteorologist Rob Nucatola.
All right, we start off today, most areas close to 70 and very humid outside. I think as we go through the day, we'll probably see those daytime highs perk up near 90. The key will be who's lucky enough to get showers. The more showers we get and the earlier, the better chance we have to keep those numbers under control. Off to our west, a couple of sprinkles this morning, not too many. There's more farther west and a lot more way off to the west. We'll be watching some of those from way out west to make progress east over the next couple of days. I think Thursday, Friday, we're talking about a boundary getting dragged through our part of the southeast, and with a little bit of luck, that'll clear us up, dry us out, maybe even cool us off a little bit, maybe at least for the overnight period. It's still kind of muggy out there this morning, and most temperatures are close to 70. I do see a 66, though, in Thomasville and in Moultrie. It's 67 Camilla, 68s for Bainbridge and Quincy. Tallahassee's at 70, while Apalachicola's at 77 this morning. Looking for some fog out there, seeing a couple of spots where the visibility is a little bit reduced, like Camilla, the visibility down at 2.5 miles. Most of us, though, better than 7 miles, so we're doing okay. As we go into the afternoon, I think like yesterday, we'll see some areas generate some pop-up showers. These are going to be those haphazard hit or miss showers. A lot of us will do a lot more missing than hitting, so it's going to look and feel like it should be raining even when it doesn't. That unsettled I like to refer to. I think over the next couple of days we'll actually have some better chances for more organized showers, and that's going to have a lot more to do with that next boundary. For today, We're just hoping for some of those showers. The chances should be there. There's so much moisture available and instability. It doesn't take much to wring some out of the clouds, but we're going to be lacking that energy that really helps to generate those showers. We're lacking it even more tomorrow, and I think fewer showers on Wednesday. But as we get to Thursday and Friday, we're talking about that boundary approaching. That'll be our best chance to get wet. Now, our quick lens forecast will show our Tuesday, Wednesday, very humid. Still pretty good shots to get wet today. Not as many showers tomorrow, and that likely means more temperatures, a little warmer. Thursday, Friday, we're talking better chances to get wet. And if all goes according to the plan, I do see drier by the weekend.